Yo, it's your girl NikaNotSoSweet, and welcome to Let's Talk About It, where y'all will get the 411 on my thoughts, celebrity tea, and more. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Yo, what's going on? It is your girl NikaNotSoSweet, and I am back with another episode. Okay, I am ready. Are y'all ready? Because I know I'm ready. But before we jump into these topics, I actually just want to say that this might be my last episode of Let's Talk About It. I do graduate in a month, and I will be going home in 2 weeks. So there will be no way for me to do this podcast anymore, But stay on the lookout for me because this is not the last y'all gonna hear from me, okay? With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it, y'all. So, Facebook is my go-to. Y'all, I love Facebook. It be some really good topics on Facebook. My Facebook crew, they know they love to talk, okay? And the topics be really good topics. So without further ado, we're going to start off by talking about postgraduate depression. So with me being a graduate or a graduate to be, I'm not going to lie, I often think about the what ifs. What if I don't get a job? What if I'm not successful? What if I'm working at McDonald's? Nothing to McDonald's workers, but I mean, you think that you get a 4-year or a 2-year degree and you're going to be somebody, right? You're going to be, not saying that people that work at McDonald's, that they're not anybody, but you would think that you would have a great paying job. And you think higher of yourself because you have a degree. Anywho, the lady that made this post, she said, "It's been 2 years since graduating with my 4-year bachelor degree." She went into college with the mindset higher education guarantees better paying jobs and creates better living conditions. But actually, her 4-year degree holds no weight when discussing salary. She says she know people with no student loans and no education. My good sis also said that people with no student loans and no education will still make more than you. All right, now, sis, I'm glad she's speaking for herself because this 4-year mass comm degree is going to hold weight, okay? With that being said, I do think a lot of high school students, especially high school seniors, oftentimes we are under the impression that a degree is needed to be successful because I know the high school I went, they push towards that higher education. I think almost every school do that. And in reality, I think a trade school or just getting a certification is something that you're really good at instead of doing a 4-year college degree. Sometimes those things work out better than actually getting a degree. Also, if you do decide to pursue getting a degree, know that it's not just the degree. It's not just you getting a degree. It's the connections that you make, right? It's more so of who you know and what do you know how to do. Sometimes it takes the entire 4 years or however long you're going to school for. Sometimes it takes that entire time in order for you to get a connection. Like me personally, I didn't start making connections until my last semester of college. And honestly, it's not even a real connection. I just know people that know people. You gotta network. You gotta network. You gotta put yourself out there. You really gotta sell yourself. You can't just think, "Oh, I done graduated with my degree and I'm gonna automatically get a job." No, it doesn't work like that. And I hope this is a public service announcement for any high school graduate or any college graduate, that's thinking that way. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be good at what you're doing, and you gotta know people. And if you do those 3 things or those 2 things, you're gonna get a job for sure. And sometimes it's not going to be the job that you want. You got to work your way up because it is veterans in whatever field you're in. It's veterans that know what they're doing, that's been there for a long time. You got to work for your position, okay? It don't come easy, y'all. And with that being said, we're on to the next topic, which is dating someone with kids when you don't have any is really settling. And if you know me, you know I don't want kids, and I do agree with this. Okay, so I think a lot of parents get in their feelings when you say anything, when a single person say anything about a person that has kids. Me personally, I do agree with this statement just for the simple fact of I don't want any kids ever. I don't want any kids now. I don't want any kids when I get older. Kids is not something that I foresee in my life. Therefore, if I'm dating a person that has children or has a child, I'm settling. I'm settling for something that I don't want. And it's not a bad thing. It's not to bash people with children. Like, no, that's not what I'm doing. It's just more so the fact that I set higher goals or higher standards for myself, and a child, that's not something that I can see myself doing, and something that I'm not willing to settle for. So yeah, I seen that as a post on Facebook, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. All right, all right, all right. It's time for celebrity tea. Okay, y'all. So Travis Scott had a Astro World Festival in Houston, and it was a complete disaster. According to CNN, at least 8 dead and many injured after a crowd surge. The victims were between the age of 9 years old and 27 years old. I've seen stories that drugs were involved, and also the concert was over capacity. It was over 50,000 people there during COVID. Y'all, this is tough. This is really tough, and it's very unfortunate. Um, so me personally, I've seen so many stories. I've seen stories where they're blaming Travis Scott. I've seen stories where they're saying it's not Travis' fault. And just my personal stance on it, um, Travis couldn't control that. Like, there's no possible way that he was able to control people from passing out or the crowd from doing that. Now, I do think he was a bit inconsiderate to continue the concert after, people passing out and deaths and all that type of commotion, but I don't think it's his fault. I do know that Travis has offered to pay for the funeral expenses and whatever else that the families may need. But then I also seen that it was a family that was suing him and Drake, because Drake was at the concert as well. So I think that was a bit overboard. But you know what? I think when you give people an inch, they take a mile, and I feel like this was that type of situation. I think that the parents, now I'm not for sure, this is just my opinion, I feel like the parents seen this as their gate to get money, and they're rolling with it. Especially since Travis has offered to pay for the funeral expenses. So, like, what do you really need to sue for? I don't know. I didn't really get that. Also, it says that a 9-year-old died. What was a 9-year-old doing at a concert? I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't let my 9-year-old go to a concert. I don't think it's appropriate, especially a Travis Scott concert. I'm pretty sure his music is not for preteens, or not for little children that young. So I don't know. That kind of just threw me off. Well, yeah. So rest in peace to everyone that died. I send my condolences to the families. That's very unfortunate, but we are gonna move on. So y'all, I'm not a political person at all, but I did see that Joe Biden, he actually, Congress passed a 1.2 trillion infrastructure package Friday, approving a signature part of President Joe Biden's economic agenda. It will deliver 550 billion of new federal investments in America's infrastructure over 5 years, touching everything from bridges and roads to the national broadband, water, and energy systems. That's great. I applaud Joe Biden for that. But you know what? What about them student loans? Hmm? Okay, I am a 2021 college graduate. I would like for all my student loans to, disappear. I don't mind riding on the bumpy road. I don't mind avoiding that bridge. I want my student loans paid. Okay. But yeah, y'all, that's all I have for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. Y'all will hear from me again, okay? Y'all will hear from me. Mark my words, okay? NikaNotSoSweet is going to be big. Do you hear me? All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time.